Love smarter, not harder. Today's question. I met this person back in 2018 in Australia. We met on Tinder and got together one time at a coffee shop. After our meeting, we didn't talk to each other because I thought he might have a girlfriend, and I also met another man. Then I moved back to Indonesia, and I completely forgot about this guy. But in February of 2021, he contacted me on Facebook, and he asked to meet up again. But it was too late because we're now 5,000 miles apart. I took it slowly, though, and replied to his messages about once a month. Until one time in August, I asked him to share his number so we could talk on WhatsApp. He gave me his number, and we started to talk from there until now. It's not a romantic relationship yet, but we talk about all kinds of things, marriage, finances, and we just communicate. I know that he has feelings and enjoys talking to me, but I'm scared because he told me he used to be a player, but he wants to settle down with someone now. It's nice to talk to him, but I don't want to work too hard on it or sabotage it because of my insecurity. Right now, I want him to show me that he's serious. We plan to meet up when the border is open soon. I know I'm not in a relationship yet with this guy, but can this work? We had our first fight last week because of a misunderstanding about one of his female friends' posts. He was upset, but he explained it to me, and I thought we would be yelling at each other in our video call, but that didn't happen. So, yeah, long-distance relationships can work, but they're usually the kind of thing that, like, you meet at a wedding, and then you live in different cities, and then you keep in touch and realize that there's something there, and then one of the two of you makes the decision to move. I mean, a long-distance relationship isn't going to work forever. And honestly, it sounds like what you have with this guy right now is just a nice friendship. And I would treat it as such. And you talked about sabotaging it or your own insecurities. I don't know that there's anything to be insecure about. I mean, he doesn't owe you anything. You don't owe him anything. Whatever posts he has from friends, that's his business. And whatever you do with your life is your business because you're not dating. So he doesn't owe you anything. He doesn't owe you an explanation. So I don't even know what you're fighting about. So ultimately, I think this is one of those things that sometimes we put a lot of energy into, but I would really ask you to be careful with that because you're putting energy into this as if he's your boyfriend, but he's not. And he might have many other women that he's talking with in this manner. And maybe they all are into him and maybe that's his thing. Or maybe he's a really stand-up guy. But until you guys have some sort of plan to be in the same space for a prolonged period of time, you'll never really know what a true relationship is about because long distance can be a lot of fantasy because you're not doing the day-to-day ins and outs of connecting and relating and being in a relationship. So my final thought for you is I would ask you to ask yourself, are you focusing on this guy because you're really trying to protect your heart from having a legitimate relationship with someone who's actually available in your space, in your town to be in a relationship with? Sometimes we put energy toward this fantasy relationship because we're not emotionally ready and we're not emotionally available ourselves to be in a relationship with someone who's in our space, in our city, in our life. So I would ask you to ask yourself that question. Hope that helps.